So a little bit about Robert Gordon University. So we were a modern university created in 1992, but our roots go back to 1729. So we were actually set up by a guy called Robert Gordon, hence the name. And he was actually an international businessman. So he went out to the Baltic states, earned his fortune, came back and set up a school. So we very much like to think that we're carrying on the tradition of international business and working overseas and working globally. So we've got more than about 300 courses from undergraduate to masters and postgraduate. And we call ourselves a professional university. And we do that because our courses we feel are very applied, they're work related. Our graduates, when they leave us, have the skills that are current and well, work ready, if you like to say. So we're in touch with employers, and these are the type of skills that they want our graduates to have. We work very closely with industry and professional bodies, so we get people from industry into the classroom to talk about their experiences. We have events in the evening, students go out and visit their places. So very much like you are here at the Technical College, very much work focused. And our degrees are international and recognised. So recent accolades. So we're the top university for graduate jobs in the UK. So our percentage is about 98.9% of our graduates have got a job after 6 months of graduating. So going back to the professional university, you know, that's what we're about, making sure that our graduates get good jobs and are on a career path. So we're the best modern university, third equal for our facilities, fourth for our industry links, and our online MBA is one of the top 10 in the world. So, and I have the pleasure, I suppose, of being a tutor on the MBA program. So I have students online from about 90 different countries, and our face-to-face MBA in the university has quite a lot of international students. So what we're hoping to show you here today, that as coming to Scotland, you'll be getting an international experience, but not just Scottish UK international experience, you'll be getting a truly international experience. And you'll be making friends with people around the world, and they'll stay with you for life. So, you know, I'm excited about that. That's what makes me feel good. So our relationship with Georgia, Dr. Bond has actually explained a bit more about that. So it was meeting with him in the first instance and getting talking with the university. So we have 20 partners with colleges, but this is the first one that's a statewide partnership. So for us, that's really exciting because, you know, it means that we can get to meet all of you. And the things that we can do statewide gives us much more flexibility than individually. So we can offer advanced entry, which I'll talk to you a bit about, and summer schools. So for advanced entry, the business courses that we have at the moment that we can offer are accounting and finance, tourism, management and marketing, and international business management. And then John will tell you about the computing ones. So just before I explain about those, you might be thinking, where's RGU? So we're in Aberdeen, in Scotland. So we're called the Granite City because all our houses are in the centre were built with granite originally. And yesterday, driving up here, John pointed out Stone Mountain or something, which is a big, huge lump of granite. So there's some affinity there. So it's very cosmopolitan. We're the oil capital of Europe. So when oil was first found in the North Sea, we had an influx of Americans coming to help us develop our oil and gas industry, our oil out there. So we're used to having lots of different nationalities living in the town. So it's very cosmopolitan and friendly. We've got good links, so you can easily get to us. So I just came from Aberdeen, Heathrow, straight to Atlanta. John came a bit more of a pretty way. So,
Edinburgh, JFK, and JFK.
so, but whatever. So it's really easy to get here. And London, if you want to visit while you're in Aberdeen, is just an hour on the plane. Edinburgh, which is, I suppose, the capital of Scotland, is 2 hours by car. Glasgow, about 3 hours by car. So it's really good for getting around. There's some temperatures there, so okay, we're not quite as hot as you in summer. We might be about the same as you in winter. But it's usually quite nice and pleasant, but bring a cardigan and an umbrella. So this is our campus. Those photos were taken by a drone, one of John's drones. So he can tell you a bit more about those. So it's all down by the riverside. We're on the River Dee. It's Royal Dee side, so if you're into that thing, sort of 30 miles upriver is Balmoral, where the Queen has a summer residence. So all the teaching is along there, the Students' Union. The green tower thing is the library, and yes, it's bone of contention, I suppose, that computing science has the top floor of the library, which is the best views of the whole university. So how they've come to get that, I don't know, but I'm sure John has his ideas. So let me talk a bit about Aberdeen Business School. We were 50 years old last year, so we're one of the oldest business schools in the UK. We were born about the same time as they got oil out of the North Sea, so we've grown up together. So we have about 7,500 students, but some of those are online. A lot of our postgraduate courses are delivered online, and I think you have lots of students here who study online as well. We've got our focus on graduate employability. So going up what I said earlier about, we want our students to be career ready, work ready when they leave. So the crux, I suppose, of what we can offer you and why we're here today is one thing is the community college pathways. So I'll just put that down because I can wave my arms around a bit easier. So you come here and you do an associate degree in 2 years. So we have matched our curricula so that after those 2 years you can come to Robert Gordon's, to ABS, and in 1 year you can get a bachelor's degree. So in that 1 year you come across, you have an international experience, you have great fun, see lots of things, get your bachelor's degree and can come back, and you're going to be sought after because you've got your degree and you've got your experience. And even though you're living overseas and there's travel, cost-wise, it actually still works out cheaper for you than doing your 2 years master's here, and you get a lot more bucks for your money then. You could stay with us and do what we have as an honours degree, but that would be if you were looking at doing a master's and actually going into more, not necessarily research, but if you want to go more an academic route. If you're hoping just to get a good degree to kickstart your career, then 1 year would be enough. And if you decide you'd like to come to Robert Gordon's and you get accepted, we'll give you a scholarship because we want to try and make it as easy for you to come as we can. So you get a guaranteed scholarship depending on what your GPA is. You'd get guaranteed accommodation, so you don't have to worry about, oh, where am I going to live or anything. The student flats that we will that are there for you to use. We have smallish class sizes, so although we have big lecture halls, maybe as big as this, and I hear you go back way when you open all the doors here. A lot of the work's done in smaller groups in tutorials, so you work with a smaller group on projects. But there's lots of student support. We're used to having international students. We're used to all the issues and getting around and where's this and how can I get a part-time job. So we're real geared up for that. And well, visas are never the easiest thing to do, but if you get an offer from us, we're a tier 4 university, so that means that your visa's really, if you filled it out right, just rubber stamp. But we have a department that can actually help you. You have to apply for the visa because it's yours, but we can help you with what you need to put in. So again, we're trying to make it as simple as possible for you to come and join us because we'd like to see you. Yes, this might look, I don't want to frighten you off here. Just at this side is the Scottie System. So we would go through and have one first year, second year, and then you do year 3 and you would exit with an ordinary degree. So for you coming, if you look at the middle side, you would enter with an associate degree in year 3 and you would exit then with an ordinary degree and then you'd come back here. If you wanted to stay on to do an honours degree in year 4, that means that when you do a master's, it just takes 1 year. So normally a master's would take 2 years. So it's, you know, it's a bit of, although you don't have the equivalent of an honours, it's a bit like, it achieves the same thing, but it's just a bit of a different route. So we have 2 semesters, September to January. We do let you off at Christmas and the New Year, okay, don't worry. And then February to March. So when we get back from here, John's immediately teaching because his students are there on the 26th. If you're coming over, we'd suggest you come over about 10 days in advance so that we've got Freshers Week, which is always good. You can go and find out about all the clubs and societies and what's going on. And if you've come those few extra days, you can settle into your flat and find your way around, find where the food shops are and the shopping malls and the cinema and where the university is actually might help as well. So you do 4 modules, I think you call them courses. And after 1 year, to say, you get your bachelor's degree and international experience. And as Mandy was saying earlier, you know, that's really something sought after on your CV now.
When I first heard about it, it was from my program coordinator at Mohawk, and basically to learn abroad, that was something that I always wanted to do. And so when he gave me this opportunity to go to Scotland, I thought, okay, yeah, try that out. So the course I'm studying is business management. It's the 4th year of an honors program. In college back home in Canada, I went for 3 years, and then here would be kind of like the last year of the degree. Academically, it's been a very good experience for me. It's very different from what we learned at college in Mohawk in terms of the setup. So college, we were doing assignments once a week that were worth small percentages and whatnot. Over here, it's more bigger projects, exams, so a little bit of a transition. I would say traveling and being around here is so easy compared to in Canada. Also, to drive around here, things are much closer. To travel around Scotland, you can do that in 5 hours. I drove to Isle of Skye. We rented a cottage there for a couple of days. Thought that was absolutely amazing. On the way back, we went to Inverness. Inverness was definitely very pretty. Yeah, and the campus was also a big thing that I'm going to miss too, because that was one of the things that I was attracted to when I came here. It's very modern, very new. The setup, basically having all the buildings close, but there's enough room to go around. The scenery is amazing, having the river right down there. You know, if you're done all your homework, you need a little bit of a break, you just go down there. If you come here and get that opportunity, I think it's great.
So the other thing that we can offer you, and which we have been doing, is a summer school. So this is a standalone. So you would come to RGU for a week or 2 weeks, and you would get to stay in student accommodation, meet the tutors, get to see a bit of Scotland, do some exciting things, do some fun things, do some cultural things, and do some study as well. So you would be able to have tasters of what you were wanting to do your degree in. So as Dr. Bond was saying, the last year, just this summer, a few months ago, the group was looking at international business principles. So we're going to discuss a bit later. I think Dr. Bond's coming over in November, and we'll decide what offerings we can put for a summer school. So, you know, an input of what you would like as well helps us. And there's also going to be computing subjects as well. So there'll be academic sessions, and within reason you could pick and choose to make up your menu. So as it says, you decide your dates. I think they're going to be July, second 2 weeks in July. Decide your cultural activities, decide your topics, and then just come and enjoy. So that is standalone. You do get some credits here, and I think Dr. Bond, or you'll be able to explain that there are some credits for what your work here if you come across. And I'm sure, yes, Dr. Bond can explain how that works a bit later on. So it's for you to get a taster. So you can come to summer school and not come for a year, or you can come to summer school and decide you want to come for a year. It doesn't matter. You don't have to have a GPA of anything to come to summer school. You just need to want to come. As I mentioned, there's lots of support. We're used to lots of international students, and we actually support our home students as well. Accommodation. So the student flats, we're saying here prices range from about £100 a week up to £200 for the really flash ones. You would have a single room, ensuite facilities. Most of them have ensuite, but if you wanted, and then you would have a shared kitchen and lounge. Depending on the facilities and which hall you were in would depend on the price. But it includes bills, you get internet. They're in the town centre, so you're close to where the action is on an evening and a weekend. And we reckon that living expenses, you know, maxi say £100 a week for your food, your toiletries, expenses. It depends how much you want to go out and enjoy things, what sort of level of social life you're going to have. And also if you're allowed to work 20 hours a week part-time. So in a supermarket or a bar or whatever, quite a lot of our students do that, but it's entirely up to you. We have a sports hall. It's got a huge swimming pool. So I don't know if any of you watched the Olympics this year. Hannah Miley, who was swimming for Team GB, she actually does her training, all her training in the pool there. She was an RGU student. We've got gym, a big games hall, a climbing wall. Before the London 2012, the Cameroon's Olympic team came and stayed in the student accommodation and did all their preparation for the Olympics in our sports centre. And I think when they went down to London, a few went walkabout, but we managed to keep them in one place. And then there's graduation, which is always a great time. to actually, when you've had your achievements recognised, which for us as tutors, you'll know, is really nice to see your students graduate. So I would hope you would consider coming to study at RGU. If you want to know how your curriculum matches, John will explain a bit more for computing, but I've got some papers here to see what subjects you would be studying. So I hope you'd see some of this. That's the town. It's a port, so that's just the centre of the town, so it's quite low rise. That's the beach. That's the theatre. That's a castle. And if you're any Game of Thrones people in here, so that was part of the Iron Islands. And I've been using this photo for a while, and I only noticed on about Monday that there's a guy climbing the rocks there right now. So now whenever I look at it, I don't look at the castle. It's like, how did I not see him? And I would hope you would come and have some fun as well, because that makes the studying so much better. So there's lots of things to do. But I thought I would leave the last word to one of our American students who did come for a year.
Hi, I'm Sarah Stackhouse, and I come from the United States of America, and I'm currently studying year 3 in the International Business Management program. And I found online that, my institution has a program here with RGU, so it's a 2-year, 1-year program, so 2 years in the United States and then 1 year in Scotland, and then we end up with our bachelor degree. I love the lectures, I love the tutorials, and it's a completely different system than what I'm used to back home, actually. But I think the academic work really pushes you to learn things that you never knew that you were able to learn. I remember when I was first looking to come here, I was scrolling on the website, and the very first image I saw was of the Aberdeen Business School and how it has the curvature, end down, and the architecture here really is truly so beautiful, and it's down by the river. It's unlike any other campus I've ever been to in my life, and there's so many things to discover in a beautiful place like Aberdeen, whether it be at the university or in the community or in the outlying areas of Scotland. And it truly is a beautiful place with beautiful people.
She was so bubbly, and believe me, she was so bubbly like that for the whole year. It was amazing. It was really good. But just as she ended saying it was a beautiful place with beautiful people. So I would hope you'd come and join us, and or at least think about joining us. So thank you very much. That's the first session, and now I'll pass over to John.
So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the computer science-based courses that we do at RGU. First of all, I'm going to give you a little overview of our philosophy of what computing is. It's a little bit different than a traditional UK computing philosophy. You'll see what I mean in a second. So the world's changing. Intel have predicted by 2020, so if you guys articulated into RGU, by the time you guys graduated, there would be 200 billion interconnected devices on the planet. That's 40 devices per person. Cisco have now updated this prediction to 7,000 billion devices by 2020. That's 1,000 devices per person. So every single person will have 1,000 interconnected devices connected to them in some way. Each of these devices needs an interface, needs code written for it, needs a network protocol to connect it to the next device in the chain. And the world needs developers that can write the stuff for these devices. So the computing industry doesn't need people that churn out the same code again and again and again. It needs creative, smart developers that drive this change, that make this stuff happen, that make the smart devices connect to each other. So it isn't IT that we teach at RGU. From the IT crowd, we don't teach you how to turn it on and off again. Well, we do teach you how to turn it on and off again, but that's not the only thing we do. This is Alan Turing, pretty much the father of modern computing. And he said, that's quite pale there, but he said a computer would deserve to be called intelligent if it could deceive a human into believing it was human. And at the minute, we have big systems like Google that's amazing. You type something into Google, and it does magic and gives you an answer. Google's not doing that. That's a software developer who has written the code to allow that to happen. It's an interface designer that's designed the Google interface to make sure that it works in the way you want it to work. Facebook looks cool because some cool person designed that interface. So we haven't got to this point where we've got intelligent computers yet. What we need is really intelligent designers, intelligent developers to write this stuff, to design this stuff to make sure it works. So our courses teach this really good theoretical underpinning, but with a practical developer knowledge on top of that. So we let you develop on a whole pile of different platforms, so web, mobile, smart devices, embedded systems, right across a whole range of programming languages as well, to make sure that you have this ability to learn things quickly, to adapt to these changes that are coming in computing. And because I've subjected you to Englishmen, I've got a picture of Woz here as well, and a wee quote from him. He said here, what I was proud of was that I used very few parts to build a computer that could actually speak words on a screen, type words on a keyboard, and run a programming language that could play games. And I did this all by myself. This is kind of what we want you guys to come out with. We want to give you a whole set of tools. We want to give you a whole set of abilities that you can then create something that you're proud of. We don't want to create developers for the next generation of smart creators that just churn out someone else's ideas or churn out someone else's code or someone else's designs. We want to get you guys so you're proud of things that you create yourselves so that you can run the next generation of startup companies. You can work for the next generation of advanced media companies. The industry agrees with us. The way that we teach, 97% of our graduates have a job within 6 months of graduation, and that's a job in the industry. That's a job working in a technical subject in an industry. We asked our industry board why they thought this was the case. We meet regularly with the industry in Aberdeen and in Scotland and asked them why they thought that was the case. And they said it was because we teach this right mix of practical and theoretical knowledge. So because we teach this wide range of platforms, because we teach this wide range of programming languages, we're tied in closely to what industry actually needs. So what do the founders of Google, Apple, Microsoft, and Facebook all have in common? They're all programmers. All of them knew how to write code. They had amazing ideas, and they developed those ideas. And again, that's what we want you to be able to do, to be able to have an idea and develop that and run with that and not let anybody get in your way. And whether that's a design, whether that's a media design, some kind of animation, some kind of code program that you want to develop, or some kind of network system or vulnerability that you want to attack, they were all programmers. Mark Zuckerberg was asked recently, this is about a year ago, maybe a wee bit longer, his friends' kids are going to college, and he was being asked, what should they study? You're a billionaire, what should my kids study to be a billionaire? And he said, my number one piece of advice is learn how to code, learn how to program. No matter what sort of sector you're going to go into, just because it gives you that theoretical problem solving, that logical way of approaching things, be able to solve a problem with something that you've learned to do. So that's what we teach. We teach design, we teach how to secure systems, and we teach how to code and develop for systems. So the details, we've got 3 articulation courses for guys from Georgia to come into. Our computing network management and design is the first one. So this is about setting up and designing network systems, securing network systems as well. As Renee said, we have 2 years. So we have the degree year, which allows you to exit with a bachelor's. So you can come and do 1 year, get a bachelor's degree in 1 year, and then go straight into work. Or you could come for 2 years if you wanted to go into more academic. You can do the honours year there as well. So in the degree year, we teach things like network management, operating systems, protocols and performance, programming, and CCNA. Our CCNA courses are all accredited, so you would get a CCNA certified network accreditation as well. Second semester degree year, we start to do some security things, so looking at breaking into systems, how to secure big systems, knowing how to break into them, so you know how to secure them. If you wanted to stay for honours year, it goes into slightly more high-end stuff, so things like virtual systems, cloud network support, telecom systems, designing networks for massive corporations. And then semester 2 of the honours year, CCNA security and ethical hacking, so safely and legally breaking into things so you know how to secure them. So that's our network management design. There's more details of these I can give you on a USB stick, so I'll not go through all the detail, but I can certainly discuss them with you. Our next one is our digital media course. This is more about graphics and artwork on multimedia systems. Again, we've got the 2 years, the degree year if you wanted to just get a bachelor's, and an honours year if you wanted to go on and do 2 years. So in this degree, it's more about multimedia. It's more about making nice artwork that runs on multimedia systems. So things like component design, interactive multimedia, so designing interactive advertising boards, pedestals in museums, things like that. Design principles and context in 3D modeling. So 3D modeling there is about designing assets for games or architectural models, building 3D models in programs like 3ds Max. In semester 2, you'd look at things like user-centered design. Dynamic web development is the best module here because I teach it. We run that as a big project. So you come up with an idea in week 1, you pitch that in week 2, we decide whether it's a good idea, and then you go and build it. And every week we teach you new techniques. So it's a massive project, and you learn all these new techniques along the road, and you have a product at the end of that. So we're letting you run with the ideas that you have. Our honours year, you do slightly more advanced things like 3D animation. This is an animated dragon here that one of our honours students last year developed. She created the model of the dragon and then merged this into real video footage, so it looked as if someone in the real footage was interacting with the animated dragon. And then moving on to things like games development, audio-visual production for games, so all the things that go into modern computer games we teach as well. And then our final one, the computing, security, and software development, is about developing software but also securing it. So in our degree year for that, we do things like project management, managing big projects, looking at different operating systems, mobile app development, which at the minute is in Android, but we're looking at cross-platform development as well, and big data analytics. This is a fun one. Does anybody know what that is? This big massive spot here? The blue bits are tweets, the red bits are retweets, and the green bits are hashtags. This is in a 1 million point force graph of the recent EU referendum. You can see up here, whoever tweeted up here didn't get much impact. The people tweeting in here had a lot of impact. So the more tweets and retweets there is, the more it is pulled to the center. So Boris is probably in here somewhere. And that's what big data analytics is about, getting lots and lots of data in and changing how it's presented and analysing that information so it's understandable. Semester 2, we do things like, again, security, looking at password systems, computer security, using user-centered design, designing things that people will actually use. Again, things like Twitter and Facebook, they're well used because they work, because they've been designed for the people that use them. If Facebook didn't work, if it looked brilliant and didn't work, you wouldn't use it. But if it worked really well but looked rubbish, again, you wouldn't use it. So user-centered design is about designing for the people that are actually going to use the stuff you have. Then in our honours year, we look at things like computer law. So we teach you how to break into things and then tell you it's illegal. We cover things like, no, I'm joking. Computer law is all about the ethics and the legality of testing these systems. Intelligent systems, so computers that are able to think for themselves, things like genetic algorithms. and cloud computing, so distributing systems across and developing systems across distributed computers. And finally, the final year of the honours year, human-computer interaction, Internet of Things, and web security. So web security, I wanted to call breaking and entering, but wasn't allowed to, so we've called it web security, because it's about breaking into sites and then securing them. So that's our 3 articulation courses. But one of the things that's a wee bit different about RGU is the team spirit we have in our computing community. We have a really active computing society. These students meet and set up their own meetings once or twice a week, every week, and set up help sessions for other students. They do this without us telling them to. They come and ask me for kit. Sometimes I get the kit back. They build things with it and then release this on the university. So things like drones, things like Raspberry Pi projects, their own little clever systems that they build up. And they do this all themselves. We also have the Academic Support Centre, where every hour of every day during class time, there is a member of academic staff in a room that you can go to and get help. And they're there to help you with any module, with any problem you've got. So they're always accessible. We also get our students to take part en masse in big internal and external events to help them boost their employability. The other kind of external events we do are things like Google Hashcodes. Last year we were a hub for Google Hashcode. That's a programming competition where you only know what the problem is about 2-3 minutes before you start on it. So you have no idea what the problem is going to be. Google released the problem, and then you have 4 to 5 hours to solve it. So again, these guys were coding for 5 hours solid. We bought them pizza, and they wouldn't even stop to eat the pizza. And we were a hub, which meant that anybody in Aberdeen or Scotland could come to RGU and take part in the competition there as well. And we send students to things like cybersecurity challenges, where they learn techniques that they wouldn't learn in university. This is Liam. Liam didn't know anything about cybersecurity. He was really interested in it, and he asked me if I could get him anywhere that would help him learn more. So I sent him to the UK Cybersecurity Challenge. With an hour of getting there, he sent me a tweet saying, this is me, just picked my first lock. So they were teaching them lock picking to demonstrate physical security. If your computer network is completely fixed with firewalls and password systems, if someone leaves the server door open, it doesn't make any difference because you can walk in and lift their data. So that's the type of thing that they were teaching. Our facilities were all purpose-built for computer science. Our labs were all designed for the types of teaching we do. This is our building. So we're in the biggest building on campus, the newest building on campus, I think still, isn't it? Yeah. Just jealous. It is, that's true, it is. The green bit here is the library, and the computing library is on the top floor. And this is the main bit of inside the building. So we have 2 big atriums. The hackathon actually was in the front atrium. This is the rear atrium. I've been known to fly some, crash drones in here as well. And then that's more of the library space. And then this is some of our students flying the drones on campus. I'm quite well known for doing things at the last minute. So about a week before I came here, I said to my students that I was coming to speak to some potential American students, and could they please quickly give me some comments about what they would like to say to you if they could be here. So I got about 20 or 30 responses, and I picked some of the 3 best ones. And you can see some of the comments here. Access to a whole range of opportunities and experiences. Strong atmosphere of progress and hard work. My favourite one's this. Everyone is also very approachable and helpful. We're lucky to have such a great campus. So the students really buy into this. They really enjoy the atmosphere and the experience at RGU. And for the first time this year, next year, we're running a summer skill. The program's not completely finalised, but the idea is we would give you guys, if you came over, a chance to look at some of the types of teaching that we do. So things like Internet of Things, cybersecurity, and digital media. And you'd also get a go at taking part of one of these development jams. So we'd run either a day or one overnight for you to experience this type of hackathon situation. And that's it. So hopefully we can help you develop your future and you can be part of the next generation of creative coders.